Welcome to the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast. You are joined by some of the usual hosts here. We've got a full house. We've got Tom Mannering.
Hello.
We've got Ben Porter.
Yo.
And we've got Charlotte Porter as well. Hello.
Hello.
How are we all doing this week?
All right.
See, I forgot to direct that at someone. And
Yep.
Yeah.
And Ben and Tom are going to give me shit for that. So.
No,
Because what happens when you go, how are we all doing, is everyone either talks all at once and you can't hear anything, or nobody talks at all. So, yeah, great.
Right, well, one by one, how are you all doing? Tom, tell me how you are doing.
I am doing fine, thank you, Joshua.
Good. Ben, how are you doing?
Little bit stressed from having to run around and find equipment to get two of us on a podcast, but yeah,
Yes.
I'm okay in the grand scheme of things.
Good. And Charlotte, how are you?
Yes, I'm calming down a bit. I think I was ready to punch someone, but
Yeah,
we've managed to
probably me.
resolve it. So, just I say moving into a new house. We've been here 9 months thereabouts, and just
But
find everything.
it takes bloody forever to get settled into a new home.
So,
I'm pretty sure I've still got things in boxes somewhere, like when
Yeah.
I moved in here, and I'm going to be leaving here relatively soon. So.
We also, thanks to the pandemic, didn't have the usual thing where you have like multiple hands to send to help you get bits and bobs done. We didn't have any of that. It was basically cram everything in where it'll fit, and then life takes over.
Yeah.
That's a shame, really, because I'm a really good foreman for that stuff. Just standing back and telling other people how to lift boxes. That's kind of my forte.
It's
where I live.
good because both you and Josh are good at that, and are both terrible at manual labour. So it's really great to have a concentration of friends like that.
Well, what can I say? Like, I don't know, take up football rather than board gaming. It's all I can. The only thing I can suggest.
It's fair. It's a good point.
Anyway, we do have a specific reason why both Ben and Charlotte are on the podcast this week. So I don't know. Do you guys want me to say, or do you want to tell the listeners what's going on, or Ben's got like a painful smile.
Yeah,
he always has that when you're around.
Yeah, you're making it painful, man.
it's like a band-aid. Just rip it off.
Yeah. So both Charlotte and I have not been as involved in the podcast for the past wee while, and there's a number of reasons for that. We're expecting our second child shortly. Mm-hmm. I have had to completely change what I do for a living. I've been doing I started my own business called Ash and Hold Art, where I do miniature painting commissions, and hopefully I've got a few irons in the fire that I can't talk about just yet, but hopefully some other stuff soon.
I'll just use this moment to put some air horns in for Ash and Hold Art.
To be fair, it's kind of been his MO for the last few months.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to plug it. I'm trying to explain where I'm at. So there's obviously been quite a lot of energy going into building and promoting that. So it's meant that for both of us, there's been a wholesale need to evaluate where we are expending our time and energy, because unfortunately we are human. We can't do everything that we would like to, and what it does mean is that sadly we've decided that we will be moving on from Unlucky Frog Gaming. we're not in a position anymore to put in the time and effort that we would like to, or that Unlucky Frog Gaming deserves. So we feel that it's best to call it a day.
For yourselves, at least.
Yeah, it's not like Unlucky Frog is done, so so I'm going to burn down the building. With,
I was going to say, it's like, I'm going home and I'm taking my ball with me.
Yeah, I've shut the garage door and I've piped the the carbon monoxide in, and we're all we're all going together, guys. I love you guys.
Super dark.
I love you guys.
Sleep well, sweet prince.
This Kool-Aid tastes a bit funny.
Yeah.
No.
Such bad taste. Such bad taste.
Leave on a high, mate.
But yeah, so obviously we fully understand why you need to commit more time to your family and to your new business and everything else.
Yeah.
And first of all, Unlucky Frog is going to continue. It is going to be me and Tom at the helm. Lucky Tom, hey.
Yep.
Bet you can't wait to come to start going to conventions with me, eh?
Yep. Thanks, guys. It's gonna be great.
Tom's just died inside as he's realised.
Just
all
withering.
Those weekends with Josh.
It's another long weekend convention with my friend Tom.
I don't think he's gonna survive it, mate. I nearly broke him when you were there to rein me in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had to do a bit of mediating last time, didn't I? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
The funny thing is with UK Games Expo, the day I felt most uncomfortable was the day that Tom was being nice to me all the time. Like that.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, secondly, I very much doubt that this will be the last time that you'll be on the podcast. I'm sure we'll have you do some guest slots from time to time. So this won't be the last time you hear from Ben or Charlotte by any stretch.
Josh keeps saying this. I don't think he realises what leaving means. Because he was like, he goes to me, "You're going to be on at least once a month, aren't you?" And I don't know about that, man.
Okay.
I've hardly been on it lately.
Optimist.
Once every other month. But no, we thought we would take this. Well, use this episode as an opportunity to announce that, but to maybe have a reminisce over the almost 4 years that has been Unlucky Frog Gaming, because obviously Ben and I were on the first episode, and Charlotte has been involved since. Basically, actually, I think Unlucky Frog Gaming happened because of Charlotte, because Ben and I were talking endlessly about how we could do a podcast, and it was you who actually made us do it, I think.
What happened? Yeah, what happened actually was Charlotte came home from her work one day, and basically plonked the Yeti microphone that she'd seconded from the office supplies there, and was like, right, there you go. Now you have to make your podcast. So,
I just got fed up with talking about it and nothing happening, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get it done.
Oh yeah. And to be fair, I think while certainly in the early years it was mostly Ben and I on the microphone, I don't know how much our listeners realise how much work you put in, Charlotte, into running the Unlucky Frog. I mean, certainly you, because did you edit all the early episodes? Was that you? Yeah.
I did most of the editing and all the social media and stuff like that. So it was fun work though. But I mean,
you continued doing all the social media up until more or less the last summer, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which was when we were up in the middle of moving house, but you were doing all the social media and the IT stuff.
Yeah.
Very much a group effort, but
yes.
I think you definitely did the lion's share of the.
And then Tom just swanned in.
That's it. That's what I
about
do, mate.
later on. I'm going to talk to you about RPGs, kids.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's it.
So, do you have any particular highlights of your podcasting careers? Cool. All right. Wow. All right.
You need to remember, I can't see anyone, so I don't know if you're directing messages to anyone. I don't know if you're.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at.
He's not, Charlotte. That would be a level of forethought that Josh doesn't bring to the table.
Look, you just killed Josh. You just killed him.
Sorry.
He's like a fairy. If you don't believe in him, he just dies. You know.
It's like, clap your hands, people. Clap your hands.
I do believe in Josh. I do.
The face is amazing. I wish you could see it, Charlotte. It's worth the price of admission alone.
Josh inside's like that. Glad he's fucking leaving.
Well, I suppose my highlight for just there isn't any specific episode or anything like that, but I do love the convention roundups. You know, when we go to the conventions and we go through what we've done for the day, just because it's great. You know, meeting all the people and talking about what we did.
Yeah. The nice thing with those is often, because often we would record them on the road as well.
Yeah.
We would, so in UK, I remember first UK Games Expo one, we had Ian from the Giant Brain joined us, and we were recording basically on the floor in this Airbnb.
Yeah.
The hottest flat in Birmingham, if I remember.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, I forgot about that. But we did find some amazing jerk chicken while we were there.
Yeah.
So.
What, on the floor?
No, in Birmingham, you.
We're quids in, boys. Found some floor chicken.
Just under the sofa. Yes!
Spicy. And also after the first Tabletop Scotland, when we had Kenny and Lawrence join us, and we were recording in what was the name of the pub we stayed in?
Cherry Inn.
Yeah, and we basically had this it's probably the fanciest recording setup we've ever had. We were in like one of the private rooms basically, and just had it to ourselves in this really old looking pub. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think. See now that you've mentioned like the conventions and things like that, I think if I was to pick a highlight for myself, it would probably be the dinners. And I know like that
Nice.
like, because see when you're at conventions as well, you get some good dinners there. And
yeah.
As much as that maybe sounds like a sort of cop out thing, I think as much as I've enjoyed recording the podcast and all that, for me, it's been the friendships and the bonds that have been formed peripheral, or in the periphery of that, if that makes sense. Just like the little things, like when we were between events at UK Games Expo, and me and Tom are just giving Josh a hard time about the fact that he hasn't bought dinner yet. Stuff like that's what sticks in my mind.
I was saving to buy dinner at the steak place. What's it called? Miller and Carter. So
you didn't. No, you didn't pay for that. What you did was you bought us chicken curry at the Hilton. We split.
Okay.
Miller and Carter.
Oh, did we? Right, okay.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, this guy try to take credit for the steaks, man.
I bought the steaks, boys.
I still bought your bloody dinner, alright. Shut up.
We all bought each other dinner. That's the point. I think, like, off the back of what you're saying there, Ben, though, especially at the conventions, and it ties into what Charlotte says as well. Like, you've had such a busy day, and there's been so much going on. It's been non-stop. You're taking in all this information, talking to all these people. It's really nice, both in the dinners and the podcast that you do after the fact as well. Just that being able to sit down and like just relax a little bit and sort of decompress.
Yeah.
And just have a bit of a laugh, because I know the few conventions we did together, I agree with you, the dinners were a bit of a highlight, and you had a good laugh over them.
Even like being back at the house, like when Josh was drunk on 2 beers, we were playing Wingspan, and he smashed us. Remember, he absolutely trounced us.
I annihilated you on those 2 beers.
You did.
I don't I think it was because it was a really hot day and a really long day, and I'm a bit of a lightweight anyway. But I know I can normally last more than 2 beers. So.
Yeah. But it's because I think at the time as well, the 2 of us remarked, like, he's absolutely smashed, isn't he? I think the 2 of us were quite astonished by it. But yeah, I mean, UK Games Expo, it was swelteringly hot, and because you're on the go all day, sometimes you forget to eat.
I think during that as well, we were emailing pictures and stuff to Charlotte, because I think you were either pregnant at the time, or you just had the thing. I can't remember.
No, I think I would have been about 8.5 months pregnant.
Yeah, it's like the month before, I think.
And we were still emailing you pictures to put on social media, because we were too busy.
Yeah.
So
it's full on though, but it's good fun, and it's definitely something that I have missed more than many things throughout the pandemic. Is the convention life.
Fair. How do you guys feel about? And I know it's might be putting you on the spot a bit, but how do you feel about what you've done with Unlucky Frog over the last 4 years nearly now, innit, that you've been working on it? You proud of it? Has it come as far as you wanted it to? Has it gone further? That kind of thing.
It's gone way further than I had imagined it would ever go. Because I literally just thought, I'll just get these 2 to record that damn podcast and that'll be out of their systems. And
So they shut up.
And the next thing you know, we're the media partner for Tabletop Scotland. It's just it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it did. There was a stage where it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and the social media was like a full-time thing, networking with people, because there's the tabletop community on Twitter and Facebook is massive, so to actually be part of it and to engage with it and to have your name out is a lot of work, but I loved doing it. It was great. It's brilliant.
Ben, anything to add?
Yeah, I think for me, similarly, it probably lasted. I say lasted again as if it's because it's finished now that I'm leaving. I am Unlucky Frog. But definitely, jokes aside, I think that I thought that it would maybe peter out after a couple of years.
Yeah.
And at the risk of blowing our collective trumpet.
Why does that make you laugh?
Tom
you usually have to pay extra for that.
Yeah. At the risk of
very good.
At the risk of blowing our collective trumpet, I think it is testament to the effort that we put in, because I think even in the span from when Unlucky Frog started up to now, there's been a lot of media things come and go. And some of that's to do with the fact that certainly for podcasting, I think the barrier to entry is quite low, because basically if you've got a microphone and a half decent PC, you can start a podcast. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be a good one, but you can. It's not, it's not. Well, it's true, isn't it? It's not like if you want to run a YouTube channel, there's a lot more involved in that, because you need to do video capture, you need to do video editing. So I think that's part of the reason, and it's something that I have had to check myself with at times, because it's like, everyone and their grand's got a podcast, haven't they? But I think in terms of where we've gone with Unlucky Frog and what we've achieved, I think the longevity is as simple as it sounds, is something that that I think we should all be quite proud of. And the thing is as well that there's stuff that I've done with Ashen Hold Art that I wouldn't have been able to do were it not for.
I bet that man's got a really big penis.
Yeah. Is that
Seem
wee
oddly
Ned
interested,
that stays a few doors down, drives that piece of shit Honda?
Is that what it is?
It's like a wee car. It's not even like
Oh,
a
yeah.
sports
It's a
car.
wee shiter, but he's put a spoiler on it and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Yeah,
but I like the like the Harlequin stench, like it's quality, man.
Yeah.
Me and the boys just all
Yeah.
crammed into a shitty Honda.
Yeah. Cue like noughties hip hop.
Yeah. Absolute fanny. And it's like 'cause I was out
What?
in the shed the other day working, and like all of my stuff started vibrating because of this dickhead's big dick energy exhaust going, you know.
Anyway,
Now I'm gonna have to leave all of that in.
Anyway, yeah, I think what, like I was saying, with Ashen Hold Art, I don't think Ashen Hold Art would have taken off as quickly as it had were it not for Unlucky Frog Gaming, because the fact that I can say I was involved in this podcast that ran. Yeah, because it's finished after I leave. You know, I keep saying that. Yeah.
just keep writing it off.
Is this maybe a bit like, you know, when the whole thing with Rangers, that joke that Celtic love to make, club's dead.
Yeah, so
Podcast's dead.
you guys are going to need to start your own, so it'll be like the Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast, not that, you know, Unlucky Frog Gaming Podcast.
It's fair.
It's established in 2021.
It's like a reboot.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. So, but yeah, in all seriousness, I think it's given me a legitimacy that, you know, for Ashen Hold Art that I don't think I would have had without it, because I would have just been some random, say, I'll paint my miniatures, guys.
It is the first time that that someone being associated with me has ever made them look legitimate.
I'm sure that's not true. Wow.
Probably not. Hopefully not. Tom's doubtful.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. I think it's a good. I don't want to say it's a good springboard, because that sounds like you're using it to step on. But I think it's nice to have a bit of experience in the past, and as you say, a bit of name recognition. And as much as it is a fond farewell, regardless of whether or not Josh wants to accept that or not. It's not like you're going to disappear from our lives. It's not like you're peacing out, boys, and flipping me and Josh off.
Sorry, did I not say to you guys that after this we're not friends anymore?
I mean, I'd understand it.
Yeah,
from a
I thought I made
personal point
that
of
clear.
view.
Thought I made that clear, guys. Sorry.
Don't even joke.
I mean, from a perspective of things that we have discussed, I'm sure Josh will still promote Ashen Hold Art. He's on commission at this point, I assume. And we'll still talk about Age of Sigmar as well, which you'll still be involved in down the road. So, there'll still be certainly references to your deeds beyond us. And I'm sure Josh will force you back on. Probably misery you at some point.
You're coming back on in a few weeks anyway, right?
He's just not taking
To
it.
talk about that thing.
He's just not accepting it.
Oh yeah, that thing. Wink, wink. Yeah,
Bit sinister.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a fond farewell for now.
So it's. I think all of the arseholes of Canvas Slang have come out because it's an ice cream van going by now.
They want
Nice.
to celebrate with you, mate. You know, they're saying their goodbye as well.
Yeah, it's like at New Year when the ships in the Clyde years ago they used to blast their foghorns. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They're all bidding Charlotte and Ben farewell.
I was trying to. So obviously this is got me looking back. I know that Tom has been diving into the archives though. How many episodes did you listen back to the early days?
Probably bits of about half a dozen. I was going to do a few more, but I have a job which sometimes
And a life.
requires me to actually do work. But yeah, it's I've listened back to half a dozen, and it's. I think one thing that I certainly noticed going back over the early ones is there's quite a sharp improvement in quality, not just in recording quality, although that's certainly true as well, and editing quality, but just in like production quality overall. You know, I mean, as much as this isn't scripted, and in case that doesn't come across, you know,
we did try script, or at least coming up with a loose plan a while back, but
yeah, I mean,
We need to give ourselves more credit. When we had guests, we were always a bit more
That's
organised.
true.
But even then,
That's
it was
true.
maybe just, these are some things we want to talk about. How it goes thereafter is totally...
That's fair. I think there's an organic format that has sort of persevered from episode 1 even to now, but you know, the two of you and myself and Charlotte on the side of that as well have got a bit of a knack, right? I would assume there's a degree of competence.
we get some listeners, so like
Right.
Well, we had 27,000 downloads, I think we're at the moment. So people
pretty
are
good.
listening.
yeah, that's pretty good.
It's no small number, and I think this is we're on the precipice of the 150th episode. I think if we're not even there, I lost count a few weeks ago. Wouldn't it be weird if this was the 150th episode?
Yeah.
That'd be a strange
Perfectly
coincidence.
just as planned.
Yeah, Ben's like, there we go. That's 150 in the bank.
That's it.
Charlotte, you mentioned guests.
Yes.
Who's been your favourite guest to have on?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I really liked the Independent Day segments that we did, because I always felt like, you know, so at one point we had two. In fact, we were not doing it at one point twice a week. At one point, and it was just like we were.
God, why did we do that to ourselves?
What were we thinking? But it just had, as much as we're saying we don't script and we just let it go. When we had guests on, we were always a bit more prepared. We did our research. We always made sure that we knew what they were talking about, and because a lot of the time they were either on to promote a game or something that they were working on, or you know, an app or something, and it was a good opportunity to talk about not just what they were doing, but the tabletop gaming community in general. We had some really interesting ones. We had people from all over the world, because I remember there being some strange timings to try and arrange a meeting at like 1:30 in the morning, because it was the only time that we could arrange to meet to speak to them and stuff. But I always really liked doing those and just being able to talk to some, not to be offensive to anyone, but to talk to somebody that wasn't any of us. Just to have a bit of a change.
That's tickled Tom. That
No, not at all. What about yourself, Ben?
Yeah.
Feel free to say me, mate. You know.
But it was always nice as well when we were given the chance to meet then people that we saw, or normally what happened we'd get to chat to. We'd meet people we'd already spoken to on the podcast at the conventions and stuff, and that was always really cool.
Yeah.
You felt like you had a bit of an affinity with them. Yeah.
But yeah, like Tom was just saying there, you were a guest on the podcast in the early days.
Yep. Not quite as prolific as perhaps some of the future guests.
I think
would be
Steve Jackson.
I was about
Jackson.
to say that I think my favourite guest was probably Steve Jackson. if for nothing else, my horrendous Donald Trump joke that went down like a fart in a spacesuit.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even remember what the comment was, but I made a joke about Donald Trump because how can you not? It was, satire come to life, in my opinion. I made this joke about Donald Trump, completely forgetting that Steve Jackson's from Texas and probably, in all likelihood, voted for Trump. And it was like crickets material. It's pretty bad.
Oh, I hear the ice cream van is back.
Goodbye, Ben. Have a cornetto.
We ice
I think that
cream
was
man greeting into his 99er.
He's got the swirly machine.
Shaking as he's pouring it out the whippy machine. Yeah.
Just imagine tears dropping
What
in.
am I going to listen to now?
I think he's gone. Yeah, it sounds like he's gone.
I don't think I've ever heard an ice cream van today. Like up till this point, this is the first time I think I've
That's
ever heard
why
it.
he's come to
So
pay
I don't know
respect. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't
Can't
normally
get
come
over
this
that
route,
image.
but he's
The tragic
lost
ice
Tom,
cream
guys.
man.
yeah, we've broke him.
Just a quivering hand holding out a flake. Goodbye, my friend.
He just hands it to the kid and drops it. I'm sorry. I had some bad news today, guys.
Oh my God, right, Tom's having a timeout.
Okay.
You alright?
I'm fine.
You good to go, champ?
Yep. Carry on.
You good to go?
It's a very emotional night.
I was thinking back over some of my my favourite moments. I think the highlight for me is because we did videos for a little bit as well, and there's me unboxing my Hero Forge miniature, all in good colour, and Ben's on camera as well while I'm doing this, and I get it out of the box and I see his arrow's a little bit bent. You can see that. I wonder if I can just try and sort of flex it back a little bit, and it just pings and snaps off. And my favourite thing about that video is just go back, watch it, and just watch Ben's face throughout it, because he wants to laugh so badly and is trying so hard to hold it together, and then eventually I think it's me saying, "We can fix him, right?"
Yeah.
It's like you watch Josh go through the stages of grief as Ben is trying to hold in a chuckle the whole time. Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, I think if I have to narrow it down, that could be it. I love doing the live episodes as well.
Yeah.
When we have a bit of a crowd in front of us, they
The
were always good
pub
fun
quiz
to
has
do.
got to be a highlight for me as well.
Oh
I
yeah.
love doing that, and the response that we got to that. That was one that really surprised me. I think, especially because, I think there were a few people that were a wee bit like, "Oh, I don't know if people want a pub quiz."
Mhm.
You probably need to edit this out. I say a few people. It was Dave. Dave said, "Nah, not doing a pub quiz." But we dug our heels in on it, and I know Duncan was very keen on the idea, and it's hugely popular. And it's not as if we're the only people that have done that. I think it makes perfect sense that people that play tabletop games would love a pub quiz, because it's a competitive thing that you do in person, and you don't need to be super fit to participate either. So that
the chill down of the convention. Do you know what I mean? In terms of what it was, and in terms of it was a great event.
Yeah. No, that was really well received.
I think my
people
favourite
got quite
round was
intense with it as well.
My favourite round was board game or porno. I think that was my favourite.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And then there was Charlotte's box as well. Remember, had to come up. I so what I wanted to do for it, if we ever do it again, is I want to get a GoPro to sit on the top of the box, because people's faces, like, there was something really sort of almost intimate about it, because people would put their hand in people would put their hand in the box and it's covered, you can't see, and there was stuff inside it, and they'd feel around and then they'd be like, ooh, like this, you know. And I just thought, I want to get that on the big screen. But then, the next day, a lot of people couldn't look me in the eye. I think it maybe was a bit too intimate for some people.
I think the other favourite episodes that we do are I love doing the Secret Santa episodes at Christmas. They're always this is a challenge this year, thanks COVID, but it
was doing those that Callum got christened Lanky Santa, because when we were able to do them in person, I don't think he even got a say in it, but Callum was basically sent from like room to room handing out the gifts. And
I think that's probably a highlight for me. I think the first time we were ever all on together was actually one of those, and it was the one where Josh had got you the Jaws board game, I think it was, and you'd already got it, and it was like the reaction of it on on the episode as well. That was really good fun.
I loved like at the end of that episode, you know, Josh thanks. He's like, thank you to our Lanky Santa, Callum. We didn't get you anything, by the way. They just carry us on.
Yeah, that was good. That was good times. Right. Well, I think I'm gonna hand it over to Ben and Charlotte then to sign off, given that this is the last episode. So take it. I don't do that lightly either, because I'm always the one who does it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't know why we settled into that.
We didn't settle in it. You demanded to basically be the host. You said, I like being the host. I want to be the host. I'm like, right, fine, whatever.
I wasn't that obnoxious.
He's a bit of a diva.
Yeah, but like seriously, like you did say that you wanted to do the hosting. Like, you wanted to be the Terry Wogan of Unlucky Frog Gaming.
Did I say the Terry Wogan?
No, I did that in to make it sound even more lame. So
okay,
it does sound like
Terry
something
Wogan's
you'd say.
Great. Right. So yeah, take us away,
Charlotte.
On you go, Ben. You lead it.
Oh, I'm going okay. I'd like to thank everyone that's supported us throughout the years, and has believed in us. I feel that now that I'm leaving, I can say this without seeming like, oh, here we go. But the board game, not just board game, but any sort of podcast, unless you are at the level of Critical Role or Sharp and Sit Down, most of these people do this at not inconsiderable personal expense, both financially and of their time. So if you do find a small podcast that you like, support them as much as you can. I think that's a really important thing. Not just in terms of like, if you like a podcast, support it. It's important for diversity of opinion, because as much as diversity comes in many forms, and I think we often overlook the importance of diversity of opinion. So I think if you value that, and I know that a lot of people that are invested in tabletop gaming want to, they enjoy comparing opinions when it comes to making purchases. If that's important to you, show support to small content creators, be it financially, be it in just giving a like and a click and a share, but it is important to do that. And the pandemic has been really hard on small content creators, and I say that as someone that observed the first hand the impact it had on on the small ones. So make sure, even if it's not on Unlucky Frog, but please do continue supporting Tom and Josh, and as they continue to run the race for Unlucky Frog. But thank you very much for whether you were a guest and took a chance on a small podcast, whether you are a faithful listener, or whether you're one of the people that we are both blessed and fortunate to have called friends that we met through doing this. Thank you all. We won't be disappearing from the interwebs. You can. It's time for my shameless plug now that I've had my sincere speech, but you will be able to you'll be able to find all my socials via ashenholdart.co.uk. I am everywhere. I am doing commissions and hoping to branch out into other things miniature related, so watch this space.
Charlotte, anything you want to add?
Not really.
Okay, cool.
I'm done with it, to be honest. It's been 4 years.
No,
I'm
just
carrying
wanna
a
say
baby.
thanks.
I've got more important things to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I suppose just saying thanks to everyone that has supported us. Even just everybody we've met through the podcast, everybody that's listened in, everybody that's messaged us on Facebook and Twitter, and just really given us the motivation to carry on. Because it can be really difficult sometimes, but
Yeah.
just you have made it all worthwhile. So I just want to thank you for everything you've done and will continue to do for Josh and Tom, of course, going forward.
And finally, thank you to Josh and Tom for making the experience not a torturous one, but
Most
quite,
of the time.
quite an enjoyable one. So.
It's been good fun. You're going to be missed.
It's been nice being friends with you guys, but all things must come to an end, and I can't associate with you guys anymore. So,
That's us.
because
We had a good run.
podcast. So
Right.
so, yeah, it's
Well, on
nice
that
knowing
note,
you guys.
right. Anyway, yes, as Tom said, you guys will be missed, and it has been awesome. But on with the show. So anyway, guys, as always, thank you very much for listening, and until next time.
Bye.